Prince William's Homewards project is very important in drawing attention to the problem of homelessness, and there's a 5-year program to eradicate homelessness, and the Prince's support has enabled charities to target this incredibly worrying problem and to challenge MPs for their failure to do something. And among those, of course, must be people like the Veterans Minister, who was caught out in being vague about the difference between sleeping rough and being homeless. And the Matt Dowie of Crisis has already acknowledged the Prince's help in changing the attitude to homelessness. The political engagement, because of the Prince's involvement, is substantially different to anything that's happened before. Having somebody with the megaphone that he's got and being able to actually articulate the cause in those terms is something we have never before achieved. What it gives us is the confidence to use that rhetoric, the confidence to challenge Suella Braverman, for example, who said homelessness was a lifestyle choice. Of course, she's wrong. And of course, she needs to be utterly, utterly sidelined in any attempt to challenge the norm and to fix the problem. It's one thing for a homeless charity to say, well, of course it isn't. It's another being able to say that the heir to the throne is clear that it's not a lifestyle choice. It can be ended. So the conversation has already moved on, and Suella Braverman is already consigned to the doghouse. It's when somebody like Suella Braverman is cast aside because of the patronage of a senior member of the royal family, that's when you realise just how valuable that patronage can be. Somebody who thought she was so powerful that she could dictate the terms of an ethical response. No, she can't. And in this, Prince William is right. She is wrong. I'm delighted. Now, the Prince now talks about going a step further in order to bring change, to raising awareness. And with Homewards, he is aiming to put 6 pilot locations on a path towards ending homelessness completely by mid-2028. I remember going back some years to Crisis at Christmas. I remember my desperate attempt to roll cigarettes for homeless people. I was useless. But, you do what you can to try to ease the problem. And part of that, doing what you can, is to do what is needed, not what you think people who are homeless need, but what they actually want, what they're asking for. And if that's rolling cigarettes, that's what you get up to. That's what you do. And what he's managed to do, what the Prince has managed to do in one fell swoop, is more than our whole sector has done working at it for decades. And that is to talk about ending homelessness rather than managing it. That's the most extraordinary change, that we've actually got somebody who's talking about ending homelessness rather than getting rough sleeping off the street, which is really where the Veterans Minister was going, and he was only thinking about getting those veterans who are sleeping rough off the street, and he's not even succeeded in doing that. Prince William is going further. He's talking about eradicating homelessness. This is simply the most extraordinary initiative, and he's quite happy to stand alongside homeless people and sell the big issue. We're heading into a general election, and this will be a decisive point in the general election debate, because we're all only a few pay packets away from homelessness, all of us. And we have to grapple with that. We don't want that to happen. We want to make sure that there's some sort of safety mechanism. And that's why it's so important to plan a way to stop homelessness. I think we could, among other things, use the hotels which are so pointlessly being used to imprison migrants, to stop them contributing to our society. We are so badly in need of help in the care industry, in the teaching industry, in schools. We're so desperate for help. Not only there, but also actually in the legal industry. And there are educated people stuck in hotels, stuck in limbo because of the stupidity and idleness, the laziness and the intransigence of the Home Office. And I'm sure Prince William would agree with me that we can do significantly more. That if we've signed deals with these awful hotel chains, we can do more. And incidentally, one of those awful hotel chains was the chain which was running a meal on Christmas Day for people who were lonely, some of whom were homeless, and Huey Grant was there dishing out meals and talking to people. What a wonderful way to spend Christmas Day. Giving something back. Helping. What a wonderful example. Hugh Grant leading by example. But it was Novotel, which is one of the companies which I believe has signed a deal with our our former Home Secretary for a couple of years. So if its hotels can be cleared of migrants, then maybe there's an opportunity of putting homeless people there to help bridge that gap. But unless the plans are made to help bridge the gap, it's just putting people on hold, and that's not what we must do. We must have clear plans to move forward. We can do it, I think, and I don't think it's outlandish. I don't think it's impossible. We need to be thinking. What Prince William talks about, the homewards learning community, to think in ways that can develop thought and that can support people. He's talking about initiatives which he's identified in Finland. In Aberdeen, there's been a strong desire to see the initiative rolled out there. In Newport, there are plenty of areas around the UK which would benefit greatly from this targeted support. And homelessness is something that's been with us for a long, long time. Back in the 19th century, early 20th century, it was perhaps a smaller phenomenon, but it was definitely there. But it has blossomed into something quite horrific and something that we must deal with. It's going to be tough to do so. It's going to be hard to do so, but it's going to have to mix social support, individual support, with education and with a plan for future living. And maybe this could be rolled out as a prototype for helping people, the long-term unemployed as well. Not necessarily into getting back into some pointless job, but into making sense of their life and being engaged in something which is useful. And it's that sense of purpose, which is so necessary to put back into those bits of society that feel abandoned. So thank you, Prince William.